We're back. I realized the last one cut me off by a second or two, so there was nothing really important to say. But anyway, just finishing up my thoughts on Hellraiser. Like I said, just really good art throughout the book. Leonardo Manco, I have no idea who that is, but he's definitely got some promise, and there's some, just like I said, just some wonderful stuff in this. So now on to, I guess, what we would say is the major book of the week, and I'm talking, of course, about FF #1. Now, as you can see, I actually went with the 50th anniversary family variant, which shows all the characters, of course, except for Johnny. Although he does, it's strange because if you look right here, you can't, it's kind of a weird glare, so you can't really see it. But there is this person right here who seems to be Johnny Storm, but no flame on or anything like that. Just seems to be this blonde guy who's flying around. Now, of course, you see, the most important addition to this is right here. We got Spider-Man joining the FF. Now, FF #1, FF is probably not what you think it stands for. The FF actually stands for Future Foundation, which is basically because they can't call themselves the Fantastic Three, so they have to go by a new name, and they are the Future Foundation. They are trying to build a different future for us. And what's great about this issue is that Jonathan Hickman jumps pretty much right into what they want to do. They do really, touching scene in which, of course, there's the, it's a bit of a cliche. I do realize that, but there's the video recording. If you guys are watching this, that means I'm dead. The whole thing, where Reed is watching a hologram, if you will, of Johnny, basically explaining that that Spidey should be in the group. And since Spidey isn't technically part of the family, he's kind of a strange extended family, if you will. They can't really call. I don't think they have. They don't think they seem to have the right to call themselves the Fantastic Four anymore. And it's not because of. It's basically they feel the need to change. They need to change the way that things are done. They do not want another tragedy like Johnny Storm. It's interesting because now I never really viewed the one thing that I think is interesting, because again, what Hickman is doing here is that he's giving us it allows a new reader to jump right in. And that's what I've been looking for with the Fantastic Four. Now, reading through the past couple issues, obviously the Death issue and the epilogue issue of that Death issue, the Silent issue, which has that great Spider-Man and Franklin scene. And, it gives us a chance to catch up on, okay, well, this is what has been going on. Other than, obviously, everybody knows that Johnny's dead, so it doesn't need to re-explain that. But, he says, okay, well, Reed's father, Nathaniel, is back from the future, apparently. They talk about, who some of these kids are, Alex Power and some other people in the son of, apparently one of them is the, if I'm reading this correctly, Bentley 23, which is a child clone of the Wizard, one of the original Fantastic Four villains, of the Frightful Four. And, Spidey gets this cool new outfit, which is, of course, more unstable molecules that can change almost at will. It can go from black to white, white to white on black, black on white. It's it's pretty cool. But they pretty much leap right into the action, in which AIM seems to be they are breaking out the original wizard, who seems to pretty much have lost his lost his mind. Um, so. And the the family dynamic again, which because this is the first family of comics, and there seems it's a nice there's always seems to be a nice family dynamic going on, at least especially in these couple of issues here that I've read, where Hickman has done this work. And I love it when his, when Reed says, how about terraforming the moon? And, people are saying, well, if you think it's a good idea, I like it. And then his father chimes in like, I think that's a terrible idea. But he goes on to explain himself, and it's wonderful the way that he, the scene that they have between the two of them. Now this has, a really fascinating surprise ending. It's really cool. And for those who've read it, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Now, the only thing that kind of bothers me about FF #1 is that Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is in a room full of people who know his secret identity. Yet he doesn't take his mask off. He removes it from his nose and mouth so that he can eat with the family. But that's it. It's like, but they all know who he is. Why wouldn't he just take it off? I mean, I know that's really fucking nitpicky, and I appreciate that. But, sometimes you gotta go there. So, anyway, Steve Epting, of course, kicking ass and taking names on the art again. I love Steve Epting. Ever since I first saw his work in Captain America, when he started, kind of did the reboot with Brubaker, I've been in love with his stuff, and I'm in love with it again now. He was one of the reasons that I kind of wanted to pick up Fantastic Four when this whole thing started. When he started, when he and Jonathan Hickman took over, I think from Miller and Hitch. I don't know if that's true or not. Please feel free to correct me. But again, very strongly written issue. Laying good foundation. Artwork is just brilliant. Like I said, I mean, the only thing that I find flawed about this issue is the whole Spider-Man mask thing. It's kind of sticking out like a sore thumb to me. But I'm surprised with myself that I'm actually wanting to get into the Fantastic Four, because despite the fact that they've been around since Marvel really became Marvel in the early '60s, I've never been a huge fan of the Fantastic Four. And I've liked some of the issues that I've read. When I know when John Byrne was working on it for a while, I read a couple of those issues, and there's some pretty interesting stuff there. But other than that, it's just been one of those. Well, it just seems to be the same thing every issue. But it seems like they're going off some really new and interesting directions here. So that makes me happy, and I'm looking forward to picking this up on a more regular basis. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, for this week, that's it. Unless something else really important happens. So again, please feel free to comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Just say something, anything, doesn't matter. Say hi. But just, let me know that you're out there and that you're watching, and that either you like or don't like what you see and something needs to change. So Anyway, this is the Shadow Gallery signing off. Until next time.